Go!
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another discussion on the discussion channel. Today, I got some more unfortunate victims. Please introduce yourselves.
Hello, everyone. This is Danny here saying, I'm awesome, so are you, and I'm ready to talk. In our
Hey guys, what's
voice. No, I'm just kidding.
oh nice. Hey guys, what's up? My name is Flippy. Have a nice day.
That's not Flippy Invader, people.
Hey
No, I'm
guys.
Flippy Vader.
Shut up, man. You're not old. You're too old for that. Anyway, this is
Right.
Youngblood Fantasy 91. Normally, I don't do these sort of discussion videos, but it's about something that I'm really interested in. So I figured, why not lend my 2 cents or 3 cents or a nickel?
Hello, this is Kev Dragon H32, the goddamn lizard man, and one of the hosts that we don't have Ghost for.
Yep.
Oh God.
And I'm the guy that shagged thy neighbor's wife. Highlander360 here at your service.
Alright, so welcome, you guys. Today, we're going to be discussing two particular topics music, which I know Youngblood is looking forward to,
Yeah.
and
Oh.
books.
Yeah.
Alright,
Hurrah!
so what can we
Rumble.
expect from music? Like,
Not
personally,
much.
guys, what do you want? Like, give a list of your favorite band. Like, the first one's off the top of your head.
Hmm.
Nirvana,
Pink
The, the,
Floyd,
God.
Nightwish,
the Beatles,
uh, what, what else? The Goo Goo Dolls,
the
Aerosmith,
Who.
uh, Guns
Flogging
N'
Molly.
Roses, Queen.
Just one, Danny.
I'm sorry, I am very diverse with music.
Let me see. The Beatles come readily to mind for me. Readily to
I
mind.
think I'll just stick with Pink Floyd ever since we did that reaction video with the
Nirvana for me
Scorpion
because
Lady.
Nirvana is fucking awesome.
Flogging Molly because I'm part Irish, damn it!
I'm gonna say why because it's very cryptic and it doesn't really have a genre.
Now,
You don't have a
personally for
favorite band,
me,
do you?
No,
now
it's
for
a band called
me,
Why.
my favorite band, well, it's kind of a tie between two. Mike Oldfield and Special D, which
Right.
is now in each of these music genres, they've all had, their shares of fame, but like, what do you think in those type of topics? Like, if those genres that each of the artists fit in, what do you think is causing the downfall? Like, why are these artists being pushed back and stuff like that?
Well, let's just say they just have no talent. That's the thing.
More along the lines of, hey, let's see how many machinery-based effects we can put into a piece of music, and that's pretty much all there is to it. It's not about the creativity. It's about how much technology we can use to make it sound great and make it appear great. It's not about the lyrics and the music. It's about the music video, the record companies, and of course the avaricious notions of the general public. Not to mention the fact that everyone's standards have gone increasingly down since the 90s.
Hey,
I would. Oh.
watch it. I grew up in the 90s.
Me,
So
me
so did
too,
I.
sister. Me too.
So did I.
What you?
Um, I, I would say when techno became really popular, a lot of people were looking for synthesized type sound, and as soon as we could put that to the human voice, you got what we kind of have now with the auto tuning. In certain cases,
Uh,
like Vocaloid, I think it's okay, but at the same time, it's just the way our culture is. We want advancement, but at the same time, when it gets to the point where you're at artists not really trying, and just kind of letting the machines do the work for them, I do think it is a problem.
I don't think it's more like techno. I think it's more like in the pop section that is when the music started going down.
Yeah.
No, let me reiterate. I understand what you mean. I mean, with techno and the whole synthesized computer sound, that we immersed ourselves with that culture, and then we wanted to take everything more robotic, and we eventually came up with auto tuning and all this other stuff, in which it does become in all sorts of genres, rap, hip hop, pop, everything, and it's just because it's an easier way to produce music than actually singing it. Not to mention people eat it up, so there's no real incentive not to do it.
Kesha,
Okay,
oh, excuse me.
my turn. All right, I pretty much would have to. All right, huh? All right, Youngblood and Flippy, like they pretty much got. And by the way, autotune wasn't originally meant for like synthesizing the voice. I think I
Yeah,
remember it
pitch
was being
correction.
right, like with correcting the pitch, but it was involved with something like voice. Like I think it was involved with.
Oh, someone's breathing. Sorry. Continue.
Yeah, I think it was something to do with like searching for oil or something. I
Yeah, they
saw
used
it.
sonar and they
Yeah,
used certain frequencies to get in there, and we
right.
got auto tune out of it.
Yeah, and also like again going back with the music videos, it's also about like who they can like get to like appeal, like pretty much like we've had like a lot of great like music legends that we can't really find. Hi, that we're pretty much trying to find like a sort of replacement for them, but we're pretty much half-assing it, or god damn it, I can't really think of how.
A good example of what Kevin is probably saying is like take an example like a good combination would be let's see, Uncle Cracker, and there was this one artist I can't. It was like they sang this song called "Drift Away."
Uncle Cracker? Is that really
Well,
his name?
Not quite, but
I certainly think that there are musical geniuses in every generation, especially since we have such a huge population now. And with the internet and mass media, it just ultimately keeps advancing that, whereas before it may not have been an option. I don't think that music quality has gone down. I think that what people are listening to and excited about is not essentially what a lot of us are used to. And does that make that music any worse? I wouldn't, because music is subjective. You can't really say that this music's bad and this music's good, but because we're used to a certain quality par, at least to what we perceive as good, this stuff isn't as good to us. Does that mean dubstep or Katy Perry or Kesha are
Ugh,
terrible?
Kesha.
Well, I would say to me, I don't like them, but if that's what you like, knock yourself out.
I honestly,
it's
I
good.
kind of agree. Like a famous internet musical reviewer, George Starostin, who's from Russia, points out that music has gone down decline. Honestly, I disagree with that notion. I used to think that music has declined, but now that I've found other indie artists like Black Country Communion, Sufjan Stevens, the Black Keys, and several other bands around that period of time, I figured music hasn't declined. It's the fact that perception has changed over the course of so many years, especially as Flippy said, the internet, other forms of media have like opened up for us. And honestly, when it comes down to it, it's our tastes that have changed, and they're putting people in the limelight that really have minimal talent, but at the same time just appeals to them in some weird form or another that I still can't explain to this very day. I mean, anyone who thinks LMFAO is any good, I ask you, why do you want to see a music video of someone junk in your face? That's my main question I ask you.
Well,
That I kind of have to
to
agree.
I'm too sexy for my shirt. It's the same concept.
Oh,
One
All
of
right,
them's
then
done
Fred should go
for
tastefully.
my
punch himself in the
shirt.
face, okay?
Well,
Because I
Sexy
don't like
for
that.
my
one
shirt. Oh,
one of them
sexy,
is
it
one of them
hurts.
one of them was a tasteful representation, even if it was silly. But the point is, the reason we found it funny was because it was so avant-garde and weird. And now we have something like this where it's kind of just like flashing balls in your face. I don't think that people essentially look at it and go, "This is awesome," but it's the same concept. You can't really judge it based on whether or not it's bad or good because it's the same thing that we had. It's just newer. It's just not what we're used to.
I think it's all a matter of nostalgia, honestly. I mean, people would rather, if they were grew up in the '90s, they would rather listen to Matchbox 20 than what's here now because Matchbox
I'm
20 was
not
more like
crazy. I'm just a little unwell.
right. So like and bent, but like they would rather listen to that because it's like I heard that so much in the 90s, har har har, rather than oh well today's music's utter shit. It's really just a lensing of perception. But either way, you can't deny the pop music industry still is complete bull crap and sounds like shit. That's my
Yeah,
I
mental.
would.
like,
What about
Oh,
other
sorry.
genres?
Yeah, like,
I
What
think
about
other genres,
like
they've had their ups and
classic?
downs.
What
Like,
about
I
Rock and
was
roll
thinking,
is not dead, people. That's what I'm saying.
oh yeah, I
rock and
love rock
roll
and
ain't
roll.
gonna die.
I mean,
I
rock and roll was a huge thing since like, especially in the 70s. I know that. So yeah, I'm sure there's
Well,
some
I
good.
think the. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't
No,
mean
it's
to
fine.
interrupt.
You can speak.
uh,
I feel as though the reason we gravitated to pop is because if you look at the like top tens in the nation, it's always pop. That's just what everybody listens to. Does that mean that we're? I was just going based off of what I think our culture, at least I shouldn't say that, my American culture is used to. Um, but I don't think pop music is shit. I think the development for it's really good. I don't think the lyrics are good at all.
What
I
about
don't think
Michael
the
Jackson?
performance are.
wait. I got a perfect example. All right, I think I got a perfect example, Flippy. Like I think the only type of good pop, if I remember correctly, the good pop that I remember that before it became, what it is today was Instinct. I think was pretty good at pop.
Dirty Pop.
Oh,
la
But
dear
see,
God.
but see, you're looking at NSYNC the same way people look at Justin Bieber today.
do 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 do.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
but
the same.
but
It's the
back
same
then they
example.
didn't. Yeah, but back then they tried. But if I remember correctly, Instinct actually tried, not using autotune, but actually instead of using repetitive lyrics, which is what I usually see in most pop videos, they actually tried to be a little creative.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't even think that NSYNC and I don't mean to offend. I don't think NSYNC really even wrote those songs. Oh, sorry. I think they probably had some executive producer come in and say, "You need to sing this," and they go, "Okay," and they go up on stage and they sing it, and everybody likes it. But I mean, that's always how it's been in the huge industries. Do you think Katy Perry wrote any of her songs?
Well,
I
Hell
mean,
I know
no.
some artists today do write their own music. Taylor Swift and Lady Gaga write their own songs.
I wonder just does Justin Bieber write his own songs?
I
no,
honestly
I
don't
doubt
think
it.
I
he
don't think so.
does.
Ooh, excuse me.
Well,
Okay, let's try all right,
Hey,
so all right, after pop comes the metal genre or the metal type.
like bands like
Now,
Metallica and
Highlander, let me
August
Black.
finish.
burns red.
okay,
All right, let me finish. All
sorry
right,
about
I don't have a problem with metal, but it's like a lot of people seems to generalize metal like screaming, death,
That's
gore.
exactly what a friend of mine like that I know like thinks of like most metal songs is like
Now, I think the reason why people view metal as such a bad thing is because like you have like metal apocalypse or whatever they're called, like like is there,
Metalocalypse.
yeah, like they're always like in the spotlight, while I think Dark Angel of the Light is better at prescribing metal than I can. But there is this
I'm
one
busy at the moment.
particular song where they are trying, where there are other metal bands that
No,
don't just scream out death and gore and stuff like that, and
no, I'm not
try
Joseph.
to be reason.
Sorry about that. I was just talking to my brother. Continue.
All right. But you get what I'm saying. It's like everyone just seems to misjudge metal because of like Metallica, Metalocalypse. What else? What else is another famous band that?
let's see, Black Sabbath, Dio.
Ozzy.
Um,
Not so much as Ozzy. Ozzy wasn't the type to go, "Oh, death metal gore," stuff like
Even if
that.
he did bite the heads off of bats. Quite ironic.
Is it Gun N' Roses like a metallic band, or is it rock and roll?
I think
It's
it's
rock
rock
That's
and
and
rock.
roll.
roll.
Oh, sorry about that. I get a little mixed up. You
You,
know,
you
for
should be
me,
sorry.
metal music to me, it's just like, oh, we love apple pie. It's so tasty. Yeah.
Apple pie.
I dare one metal band to actually make a song of apple pie.
Actually, I think there is like one. I remember hearing about this one like metal album that was like focused on food. Can't remember what it was. I think it was called like Food Metal or something. It's,
But
anyway.
yeah, it's like why do just people like generalize, like metal, like why don't they give like other metal bands a chance, to show that metal isn't all about death and gore?
Why can't metal
Um,
be
Right,
about
like
other things like peace and harmony and love? Love is fucking awesome. Yeah.
I think the reason is because you think of metal, you think of like glam metal, uh, death metal, all that stuff. Those kind of things naturally come to mind. I'm not a big metal kind of person, so maybe I'm a good source for someone who has no idea. But it's I don't think you can ever get rid of that idea until someone actually sits down with the music. The problem is if someone doesn't want to listen to the music, they're not going to listen to it, and they're always going to have that perception. Um, so I think the reason that perception exists is because metal kind of forces its image to be a little risque, um, and because of that, people think the music and its ideals and morals are risque as well.
Good point.
Let's see. All right. So this is kind of a mixed thing, but it kind of has to do with both pop, but it's another type of music, like it's like love songs and stuff. It's like the way I see it is
Ooh.
that love songs, like Total Eclipse of the Heart,
Happy together.
stuff
Ooh.
like that, and
Oh,
it's
I love
like
those songs.
like it's like pop is trying to become love songs, and that's something I cannot stand. It's like the love song should be in a category of their own.
Mhm.
yeah, like if I were to think of something like a romance song, it's something that's like not something that would be like from like Katy Perry or
Justin Bieber, because we all know he's
hell
forcing
no no
that.
no no. I mean
Oh,
something that's like
face.
it's something that's slow. That's like pretty much set pretty much sets in like some sort of mood that
Yeah.
it's it like pretty much follows like this one philosophy that I have for pretty much all music that's in general, and I'm not sure if I should like reveal what that huge philosophy is just yet.
Now, granted, there are some pop bands that actually took love songs or try to fit love songs into pop or something like that. Like a good example of this is Savage Garden, and I
What is
freaking love their
love?
song.
Baby, don't hurt me.
Wrong
That's
band.
not
Another,
Savage Garden. That's Hadaway.
I
yeah,
know.
Hadaway and Savage Garden are probably the only two bands I can think of that actually took love songs and actually made them feel like they're somewhat a part of the pop music area thing.
Can I just interrupt you for a second? You call these pop like bands. Does Savage Garden do they play instruments?
Um, I honestly don't know because like when I watch some of their videos, they actually don't reveal that they do. Like,
Because the thing is, one of my philosophies, and my brother agrees with me this, you're not a band unless you play an instrument. You see
well,
where
I
I'm
think
getting at?
I think they do play their own instruments, but they have not been shown on screen. And I've been trying to look up see whether or not they do or not, but it
What
doesn't
about
say.
acapella bands?
Acapella bands?
Yeah.
Uh, I think
Hmm.
they do.
No, they don't play instruments. The whole point is they only use their voice. That's still a band.
yeah, that's pretty much still a band. I mean, like, as long they got a good rhythm and a good beat, and like the lyrics aren't bland and have some sort of meaning to them. Yeah.
I say, I like to say that the individual members of a band are the band itself. And if you get studio musicians and session musicians, they're only adjuncts to the band. Like, for instance, there's a band called Love, which was around in the 60s. And back in the day, they were a five piece. Then they became a seven piece. Then they became a five piece again. And the seven piece was the reason was well because they added more people into it. And then when they released their most famous album, Forever Changes, in 1967, two of the tracks they used session musicians, and it's like I'm not going to consider them real Love because all it is just Arthur Lee and Brian McLean with a bunch of people that they found at the studio one day and decided to record some songs. That's not what the band is. The band is the people that have the creative vision to create themselves, and just they all work together and one huge project rather than just saying, oh, well, you know what? I'm going to get a bunch of session musicians. I mean, that's why I don't think Edison Lighthouse is a real band because they're just a bunch of session musicians that got famous over a song on by chance. You know what I mean? That's what I think.
Good point.
Everyone
Good
is
point.
Good
speechless.
point.
Very good.
Well, I just don't have any
Hobbs.
more points
Wait,
to
wait, wait,
make. I agree.
wait. Hobbs, this is a song for you.
What?
Please have my babies.
Have my babies because Highlander is better than Jen. Yeah.
Oh, fuck you.
Are you implying that Hobbs has a vagina?
What? No, no, no,
Whoa.
no, 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 no.
Well,
I
they'll
don't
use
believe
stem
that at
cells
all.
to give
Whoa.
hops over
Allow me to
Okay.
divert the
and
topic of this
Okay,
stimulate.
video
okay,
by
people,
saying
back
that
on topic, back on topic, back on topic.
All
What?
right, so moving on. Next
Uh,
genre, I think.
classic music slash opera.
Oh, I love classical music.
Ah,
The only thing is
yes.
they don't write
Smotes.
it anymore.
Opera. Now, I actually have quite a few operas I would like to list. The Marriage of Figaro is definitely a good classic.
Carmen,
Oh yes, definitely Carmen.
La Gioconda,
Yeah.
Dai
Uh,
Valkyrie,
yep. Deux Fractions, which is a German opera.
Samson and Delilah.
let me see. I liked La Boheme by
But
Puccini.
now people seems to generalize this thing when they think of opera, and I really do love this opera, but I think it's so overrated, and I think it fits more in the music stage. Phantom of the Opera. It's
That's
like
a musical, not an opera.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
Ingrid
It's
would
like
never.
yeah, it's like people like it's like dude. Phantom of the Opera is not opera. It's something else.
It's a musical.
It's just called an opera.
The difference between a musical and an opera is a musical actually has breaks in between songs to show dialogue.
While in
An
opera, it's just
opera
like a
is
choir.
purely singing.
It's just like a choir or something, I
Yeah,
think.
there's something called recitative, which is in opera, which is just sung dialogue.
My son.
Because the thing is, yeah,
Now, this probably has to be my most favorite opera that I surprised I did not get as famous as I think it should be, and I think it's really underrated. It's the story of how they took the story of Faust and turned it into an opera. I really love it, and it's like, why are some most operas like so underrated? I would love to see a remake of the Faust opera.
hmm.
Thank you, Goethe, for writing it, and thank you, Charles Gounod, for actually
Yeah, how about like
performing.
a movie adaptation of it?
That would be very hard to do because Faust is like as the story goes, it's a German opera that follows the story of how Faust wanted to gain eternal knowledge. So he was tricked by this devil Mephisto into selling his soul for eternal youth and knowledge. So it's really hard to take an adaptation like Faust and turn it into a movie.
Yeah, I don't know a
Yeah,
lot
or
of operas that have been turned into movies. I mean, the closest I can think of is um in my favorite movie of all time, Fantasia, when they took
Right.
the Dance of the Hours from La Gioconda, even though that was more of a parody where they just turned all the ballerinas into giant animals like ostriches, hippos, elephants, and alligators. That's about
Right.
the closest they've done to adapting opera into film.
Yeah,
So yeah,
though. Yeah, though I think more of is like concerts, music, but or a film. But when it comes to like bringing like music to like the silver screen or making adaptations of music for film, it pretty much were like the only way that I can see it work best is if they do it in the same sort of way that Fantasia was done. It wasn't.
you mean turn all the performers into giant animals?
No.
Make no
No,
no
no,
no no
no,
make
no,
My
make
no.
Little
make make
Pony.
no
Oh
make
no,
No.
no,
everyone in
no, no,
Fantasia giant
no, no,
dinosaurs.
no. Let me
Everyone
finish.
fucking dinosaurs.
What I mean is like it's done in a way where it's not like a screenplay that's telling the story. Like it's not some like granted someone is like writing what the scenario is, but it's more of the person who's writing the script or the screenplay is like translating what the original like music is saying. Like in the Sorcerer's Apprentice, is it was telling a story, and what the Disney animators did was that they translated the parts of the score as part of that story into visual form.
Yeah, I love that movie for what they did. Yeah, and
I
I think
agree.
more people should. Yeah, they should be doing that. Not just with opera, but with classical music too.
Agreed.
And let's see. Another thing that I probably have a problem with is how people seem to think that opera is like for, like that people can't understand opera because it's all in different languages and stuff. It's like instead of, like trying to understand what they're saying, just watch. Just watch and listen. Try to catch the mood.
Yeah,
That's
I
kind of
mean,
like the point of the opera.
yeah, I mean, facial expressions can speak louder than actual words. Am I right?
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Totally.
totally. I mean, you even have friggin' what, like the William Tell Overture is so well known these days, and it's from an opera by Rossini. Now, if you don't know that, then it's like, well, how about you check it out? And then people are gonna be like, no, it's for old people. It's like, no, if you can appreciate the music for what it is, I mean, sooner or later you're gonna develop like an appreciation for music in general. It's amazing. I mean, I'm not gonna. I mean, think about it this way: if you can create music for a scene that can easily be written by another writer, if you can create a good ambiance around it, then it sort of gives it a great illustration, and it gives you a visual experience as well as a visceral experience that allows for you to interpret the scene in a different light. I mean, I'm not going to say an opera, but I'm going to say Edvard Grieg, who wrote incidental music to Henrik Ibsen's Peer Gynt. By the way, Henrik Ibsen is a great Norwegian playwright, by the way. If you listen to any of the incidental music to that, like Morning Mood, for instance, that's also very well known in today's culture because it has a resonance to it. It's so great.
All
Mm.
right.
Right.
Anything else to add before we like end this part of the recording?
Um,
I don't know.
I
I
have
just
something to add.
Yeah.
what about music?
Yeah.
Like, I got
Hang on, wait
nothing
a minute,
really.
Highlander, and let Flippy go
Sorry
on.
about that.
It's fine. I think that no matter what genres become popular, and no matter how all of us feel about some specific kind of music,
We've all
uh,
got different
it's
tastes.
it's completely subjective.
We all have a good taste of music.
Uh, and if you don't like something and you just can't stomach it, then no one's forcing you to take it. So
Like exactly, like I can't stand like I can't stand like today's pop music, but I can stand like today's, classic music and stuff like that.
I have a
And I
By the
just
question.
way,
can't.
funny little story. Me and my parents would torture my siblings with a CD by John Hyatt.
All right. Anyway, all right.
Oh, and
Anyway,
I also have
Wait, wait,
like
wait,
my
wait, wait,
own
wait,
thing
wait, wait, wait,
too.
wait, wait, wait. I
So
got one. I got one. Should we talk about things? What about country music? Isn't that another genre?
country. Oh boy. Now, when it comes to country, country is like in a category of its own, like I said, because it's got this rhythm and beat to it that makes it so unique.
Well, we'll give country music some credit. Unlike pop music, the singers and they at least write their own music and they perform their own instruments, unlike a lot of pop singers. So
Yeah.
that's one thing to give them credit for.
Right.
Oh, sorry. You can go.
Right though. All right. No, I haven't really been listening to like that much country lately. But like in fact, I haven't listened to any in like over 10 years.
What about Taylor Swift? Have you listened to any of her music?
Oh,
Not
good
quite.
God.
Technically, because she is a country singer.
Right, but
Um,
no, I'll just
I
let Flippy speak.
I went to iTunes because I heard a song on the radio that I liked, and I figured it'd be in like the top popular hits or whatever. And I went on there, and surprisingly, a lot of it was country. Do but I This country's not really my style. But I understand why some people like it. It's not essentially really difficult to understand, and that has its benefits. So,
Hmm. Yeah, I think we all know what Hobbs's favorite country song is. Hey, little pretty, won't you give me a sign? He got sold by the auction.
Oh my God.
Fuck you,
Country music
Texas,
for
and
me
fuck
is
your Lone
like
Star State.
country music is hit and miss for me. I really don't care too much for it personally. I mean, I like how southern bands actually reinterpret country, like Pure Prairie League, or Southern rock is actually like an incarnation of country in a way. But honestly, like the closest I'll ever listen to is like John Denver or Johnny Cash, and that's about it. Honestly, I just think of them all as like just they just sound weird to me, and they don't really give me a feeling of oh I love this song. It's more like oh I'm disenchanted by this song, you know?
Well, I think the topic is about when country music, when it comes right down to it, it's like it depends on where you live. Like I noticed like a lot of people from the north don't like it, but a lot of people from the
Mm.
south do like country
well,
music.
it's culture.
Yep, he's got a
It's
Okay.
point.
it's completely ingrained in their culture. I'd say that if anything, I'd be surprised if it wasn't the case because
What
that's
about
how it's been for
jazz?
a long time.
Jazz and blues.
Oh yes,
Ah,
jazz.
yes.
I feel like jazz is very popular with a lot of people nowadays, more so than previously, because I'd say like academic band, a lot of the times you end up playing jazz, and a lot of people learn to love it from that. Whereas if you don't, I'd say if you don't play an instrument for like a school, it'd probably be hard for you to like jazz.
I like John
Now,
Coltrane, Miles Davis, Charlie Parker, um, I guess Charles Mingus,
Louis
they,
Armstrong.
Louis
What a
Armstrong, Thelonious
wonderful
Monk,
Martin
world.
Scorsese.
Hey, hey, hey.
and I also like jazz fusion bands. Like they fuse jazz and rock, like the Mahavishnu Orchestra or Soft Machine, and they do a good job with that, honestly.
exactly. All right, so anything to say before we end this recording and move on to our next topic that we're going to discuss?
Dubstep,
Yeah, my
Dubstep.
wub wub wub.
All right.
What about
All
rap?
right, anyway.
uh
Rap. Oh, God. All right, all right. Let me now, being someone who's grown up, in the hood, it's like rap varies of how you interpret it. Like, like rap, like everyone seems to interpret with that rap is about, oh, we're doing drugs and blah blah blah. When I've listened to some rap, even though I'm not a big fan of it, it's not as bad as everyone claims it to be.
mhm,
Certain,
yeah.
I'd say there is good and bad to everything. I don't think anybody can really listen to DMZ. Extremely bright intellectual. However, I do think some rap serves a purpose. I'd say the popular rap is fairly ridiculous.
You mean like Lil
I mean,
Wayne?
how can anybody take slob on my knob? As I just don't have a taste for it.
And what about R&B? It's like
kind of
Now,
pretty much the same as of now.
yeah, it's like R&B. Granted, like I said, I grew up, in the hood. Like I've listened to so many songs. Like R&B, like I said, it varies. Like there's like probably like a couple songs I like. Like I'm probably gonna get a lot of going. Like I like What You Say from a remake that's an R&B band and stuff like that.
Jason Derulo.
Yeah.
What you say?
50 Cent, Tupac,
Oh no.
Biggie Smalls,
I got 99
Oh
problems.
yeah.
And now I guess we could probably cover this topic real quick before, as we're waiting for Hobbs. What about game music?
Oh, I
Um,
Game
love the
music?
game.
Like video game music?
Yeah, video game
Like,
music,
Ah, like
original.
composition, like pretty much
Or
like
like
a soundtrack for a game that's
actually,
like
Yeah,
oh,
composed
actually,
entirely
I
for
have
well,
it.
actually I have some music from Halo and Gears of War on my iTunes.
Same
yeah,
here.
yeah. It's like now, granted, I don't like Halo. I absolutely despise the game's gameplay because it's just basically, in my opinion, and I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate for this, but I say that Halo and Call of Duty act too much the same.
I
But
think.
it
Oh,
but it
sorry.
makes up for it. But what it makes up for is that it's got a really good soundtrack.
Yeah, I'll have to go
I
with you with that.
I think that anybody that likes Call of Duty and Halo, I think that's perfectly fine. I'd say Halo has a better soundtrack. I haven't heard much in COD that really blew me away. Um, Whereas Halo, like, it's just very well composed. I find that a lot of music is ambient, or sorry, that was terrible, ambient sound, to where if you're walking through an area, it just gives you a certain mood. Uh, and I don't feel like that's very good to listen to as a soundtrack. Um, for instance, like, I don't know, like horror movie, or sorry, not horror movies, horror games, they don't really have any sort of soundtrack, but they do use music in a way to get you to feel a certain way. I feel as though that, even though it's not necessarily what we would want to have in our iPods, is a lot more beneficial to a game than just kind of songs we can all hum along to, which is fine if it's like older chipset kind of stuff because they were very limited. But nowadays, I don't see why you'd want to have a very, very memorable song inside your game, unless it's outside of the game, like Still Alive. Because once you're done, you can focus on that. But having it in the game would be non beneficial. So I feel like there's not going to be a lot of video game music coming out that we can appreciate.
Um,
Yeah, like a good rough example is that, and now probably once again, I'm probably gonna get it going ball or something like that. Like the new Devil May Cry reboot. Now, granted, Devil May Cry has been more focused on goth, rock, and metal type of music, but this now, granted, what this reboot is, it's focusing on the underground punk, but the way they put it, it's like, oh my god, what is this? I mean, like, it's like I'm listening to the beat and stuff. It's like it's just all over the place. There's no steady beat to the music.
Something I want to bring up, like now that something that I think I should like bring up now is that something that should that's like any musical artist should like tread carefully in is when they try to mix two genres of music
I think one of my
or
favorite.
like with
Oh, sorry about that.
settings.
Like a person who probably did well, like the rough example is again is the Devil May Cry series, is that how they mix gothic rock and metal together so well.
Hmm.
I think one of my favorite music in gaming is the Dead Space series, where they just make it like haunting, atmospheric. Like they just made the music just to get this feeling that there's something that's right behind you, or something that hides in that vent or something. It will get to like haunting, creepy, and then intense at some point. I just love the music in Dead Space.
And then the dead like start doing the can dance. All right, all right. All right.
If I could say
Like I
some,
said,
oh,
like I
you go
said,
ahead.
yeah, like I said, Kevin, I still think that leg that Paul found is Deadpool's leg.
If I could
All
say
right.
some things about video game music, I think a lot of it varies. I mean, for me at least, I think some games like Super Mario Galaxy, Final Fantasy series, the Kingdom Hearts series, all games like that, they have great soundtracks. And of course, but if there's one game series with a very annoying soundtrack that got old really fast, it's that Blue Hedgehog. And of course the theme. Oh gosh.
Wait a minute.
And like I, well, hey,
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
yeah, like it says is like it varies on the person, like if they like that type of music, and like some people can like hate on Mario Galaxy music and the other one can like Sonic music, and it goes the opposite way as well. All right, I think this recording has gone way on the long, so I
Yeah.
guess we're gonna take a pause from here, and then we're gonna restart it up, and we're gonna talk about our next segment.
Yeah,
See you in
though,
part
before
two.
the next segment, the big reveal of what my philosophy on music is. And now for intermission.
Woo woo woo!